Tonight on News 5, the electricity bill shock. Customers say their charges are climbing, but BEL argues its new adjustment could prevent an even steeper increase. So what exactly are consumers paying for? Then, no subsidy, no buses. Operators threaten to suspend service Monday, while the transport minister says the announcement caught him off guard. Could thousands of commuters be left stranded? Also tonight, a new chapter in Belize United States relations as Andre Bauer takes office as U.S. ambassador to Belize. Greater Belize media shines on the regional stage, bringing home 5 awards and 4 special mentions from the Caribbean Broadcasting Union Media Awards. And Destiny Wagner breaks her silence after resigning as National Director of Miss Universe Belize. She says walking away does not always mean giving up. Good evening, Belize. I'm Sabrina Daly, and News 5 starts right now. VOs.
Introducing BB Insurance, built for Belize. Your security, our priority.
Win the Encore Bundle. 2 Skydeck tickets, $500 DigiCash, a night stay at Grand Resort plus official Marshall Montano merch. Get your tickets for only $5 on the DigiWallet Marketplace games. And experience Marshall Montano the Encore way.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
Welcome back. Belizeans are already paying more for food, transportation, and other household essentials. Now, electricity bills are also going up. Belize Electricity Limited says a new adjustment approved by the Public Utilities Commission will help prevent even steeper increases later. But for families already stretching every dollar, even a limited increase can hurt. Paul Lopez reports.
For many Belizean households, stretching a paycheck to the end of the month has become increasingly difficult. Between groceries, rent, fuel, school expenses, and utility bills, consumers say there is little room left in their budget for additional cost. Now, BEL says consumers will see an additional cost on their bills this month. BEL says it has been paying more for electricity than consumers have been charged. In fact, over the past 6 months, that difference grew to more than 4 cents per kilowatt hour. The company will now recover some of that shortfall through the cost of power adjustment approved by the Public Utilities Commission.
The last year, the company had some struggles trying to pay CFE, and there were times when CFE actually said, listen, if you don't come up with money, we're going to have to disconnect you.
However, under a newly established regulatory framework, the increase being passed on to consumers this month is capped at 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour. The company says the 1.5 cents cap is meant to cushion customers from sudden spikes in electricity costs.
Any increase would be limited to no more than 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour in any given month. Of course, it could work the other way around, where there is a decrease in the cost of power, meaning that we pay our power suppliers less than what the PUC approves for the cost of power, that savings would then also be passed on to our customers.
BEL and PUC say the adjustment protects consumers from sharper increases, but many Belizeans may see it differently. Families are already paying more for food and other essentials, and any increase adds pressure to household budgets. Union Senator Glenfield Dennison raised that concern on Tuesday.
So when you can't lower the price of the things that we need as inputs so that your labor can feed you and your family, we are in a bad place as a country now. What we need to ensure that we have a plan of action to address poverty.
Economists say higher utility bills do not affect households alone. They can also push up the cost of goods and services. When businesses face higher operating expenses, some of those costs can eventually be passed on to consumers through the prices of goods and services. The increase may be small, but many consumers will see it as another blow amid the rising cost of living.
So on your electricity bill, when it's implemented, you will see a separate line item for Caulker. GST is not applied to that. GST only remains on the base portion of your electricity bill.
Essentially, your new bill will include another line item, Cost of Power Adjustment, or COPA. If BEL buys power at a cheaper rate, it will reflect as a deduction on the monthly bill. Similarly, the COPA will come as an increase to your monthly bill in other instances.
The cost of power tends to be higher in the first 6 months of the year, and then it tends to start falling as we get more hydro and it gets cooler, and the Mexican prices to a large extent has been driving the cost of power from Mexico. That has been driving it. The second half of the year, as it gets cooler, their prices tend to go down. So there's a high probability that you might be seeing more reductions than increases as you go through on a monthly basis.
BEL says further adjustments could also mean rebates, not just increases. But with household budgets already under pressure, consumers will be watching closely to see what happens to their electricity bills. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
For many Belizeans, opening the latest electricity bill came with an unpleasant surprise. Customers took to social media today, sharing bills they say climbed sharply even though their power use remained largely the same. The complaints come as Belize Electricity Limited introduces its new cost of power adjustment mechanism, which can increase electricity charges by up to 1.5% when the cost of purchasing power rises. But some customers believe that alone does not explain the spikes they're seeing. Demi Williams is among those demanding a clear breakdown of what is driving her bill higher.
A lot of concerns, and it's not just my bill. So I have 2 light bills. But what makes the one that I posted on Facebook interesting was the fact that that apartment is empty. I have not been home since the first week of July. And even when I was at home, it was very sparse, and I live by myself. So it's not like there's a whole conglomerate of persons in that unit. But also, it's the fact that the bill is exactly what the bill would normally be if I were to be home for an entire month. But I'm not home, so how am I still paying $84? And I know people would say, oh, but you have things plugged in. I don't have an industrial refrigerator, because obviously I can't plug up my fridge. Everything else is plugged out. The Wi-Fi is on because I have security cameras, but how much electricity are those really pulling? $84 worth of current? I don't think so. And then on my other bill, my mom lives by herself. So that's one person in that house, on a bill that averages anywhere between $80 to $90 a month is now in excess of $100. And I would be contributing to her light bill because I would go there from time to time, but she's physically there by herself. No one else is using electricity but her. So how do we explain her increase?
Williams acknowledges that the high temperatures may account for a slight increase, but maintains that the bill is unusually high. The clock is ticking toward a possible shutdown of Belize's bus system. The Belize Bus Association has given the government notice that its members will discontinue service on Monday, August 24th, if no agreement is reached over the cost of diesel. Association President Philip Jones says operators kept buses running after the subsidy expired on August 4th, even as fuel, tires, parts, and other expenses continued climbing. But he says the industry can no longer carry that burden. The association is offering to meet with the government immediately, but it wants the subsidy restored retroactively. Without a last-minute solution, Monday morning could begin with thousands of commuters searching for another way to travel. The transport minister says the Belize Bus Association's shutdown threat caught him by surprise. Dr. Zabaneh says he spoke with BBA President Philip Jones on Wednesday and believed the association would give cabinet time to consider its request. Instead, bus operators have announced plans to suspend service on Monday. Zabaneh is now pushing back against that decision. Here's how he explains it.
I think the threat is out of place at this time. The request was made initially by letter to me about a month ago. I informed the president that by telephone that it would be more appropriate to address the letter to the Minister of Finance, and that certainly I would be in communication with the Prime Minister as Minister of Finance. We discussed the matter. It was sent to the Prime Minister, and at this last Tuesday's cabinet meeting, we discussed the matter, and the Prime Minister asked for the ministry to do an analysis and to present a cabinet paper at the next cabinet meeting, which would be not this coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. I shared that yesterday with President Jones, and in that conversation, I was left with the impression that we had an understanding that they would await the deliberations of the cabinet in a similar way that we had done before. And then, to my surprise, this letter came out today.
Commuters in northern Belize could find themselves caught in the middle of a showdown between the government and bus operators. Transport Minister Dr. Zabaneh says he cannot guarantee that buses will run on Monday, arguing that the Bus Association now controls what happens next. But with the association repeatedly calling for the return of the fuel subsidy, here's what we're asking. Why has the ministry refused to give operators the relief they say they need?
Because it's not the decision of the Ministry of Transportation. It's not under my portfolio to make such determinations. That is a fiscal matter. They are fully aware of that because we have been down this road a number of times with them. And so it was more appropriate for them to address that letter to the Prime Minister as Minister of Finance, copied to me, of course, and I made a commitment to them, which I fulfilled by having the conversation and bringing it up at the cabinet.
What assurances can you give commuters at this point that there won't be that sort of shutdown on Monday that we saw a couple months back?
That is not in our power. That's in the power of those members of the BBA who are not members of the National Bus Company, who comprise approximately 32% of the market, mostly on the northern corridor, who would have to make that decision whether or not it is worth it to put their commuters through that again.
The Belize Bus Association says it is ready to meet with the government immediately to implement a retroactive fuel subsidy program. After the break, 20 years in business, then suddenly locked out. Jones Meat Shop says City Hall gave no warning.
Greetings everyone, my name is Dr. Wagner Morgan. I hold a PhD in Mechanical and Energy Engineering from Kunshan University in Taiwan. I am currently a member of the Faculty of Science and Technology, serving as an Assistant Professor of Mechanical and Electrical Engineering here at the University of Belize. I completed my PhD in 2023 and I spent a total of 4 years working on my dissertation, which focused on smart relubrication of a plastic injection molding machine. Now, in simple terms, the injection molding machine is a machine that produces our plastic parts that we use in everyday life. But these machines operate 24/7. Every part that is produced, it closes, it's open, this is repeated. It's just like our cars. We drive our cars and the instruction says maybe every 10,000 kilometers we would need to perform an oil change. The same principle applies to the injection molding machine, where after a certain amount of cycles the oil needs to be replenished. Now, what if you're able to relubricate your car after 15,000 miles? You would thereby save oil, you would thereby reduce environmental waste. That's the same challenge that the industry in Taiwan was trying to solve. We're trying to reduce the use of oil in industry. I realized that there was a phenomena that manifests itself during the unclamping of the machine, and I was able to develop an algorithm to optimize the relubrication of the injection molding machine, thereby saving lubricant and reducing environmental waste. I see a lot of research opportunity, particularly developing a smart air condition control. We currently use a lot of split unit air conditioning systems, and these systems require manual control of the temperature. However, the temperature inside is dependent on a lot of factors that the air conditioning unit cannot control. There's a lot of algorithms that can go behind this control and thereby reducing our energy consumption. In Taiwan, I did a lot of industry-academia collaboration, not only for novelty, but we also aim to develop a tangible, a viable product that the industry can use. For now, I'm in talks with other industries, hoping to develop some smart condition monitoring for their processes. At the University of Belize, I see a lot of potential. We have a lot of brilliant students that I feel would do great in research. Any topic is a research topic, and I will encourage students to take part in research, expanding their knowledge. The world is open, the opportunities are here in Belize. I'm Dr. Wagner Morgan, and here at the University of Belize, we're not just sharing knowledge, we're shaping the future.
contestants are left. This Tuesday, they will take the stage one final time for the KTV Season 8 Grand Finale. Who will be named this year's KTV champion? This is your last chance to vote your favorite to the finish line. To keep your favorite KTV star in the competition, you have to vote. Text the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's assigned voting number, and send it to 585. Remember, each contestant has a new assigned voting number for this week. Here are this week's contestants.
When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours. I feel born again the moment that mercy was. If I haven't seen you for a year or more, I'll think about you and I'll say I miss you.
You can also support your favorite by sending credit directly to their assigned smartphone number. Cast your vote by Sunday at midnight and tune in on Tuesday at 8 p.m. for the KTV Season 8 Grand Finale.
A police officer accused of a deadly confrontation on Caulker has now received the prosecution's case against him. 20-year-old Lionel Urbina appeared without an attorney in the Belize City Magistrates Court, where prosecutors handed him 145 pages of evidence and 7 DVDs. Urbina faces murder, attempted murder, and other serious charges in connection with the stabbing death of 19-year-old American student Kevin Matthew DePaz and the injuries of 2 other people on Caulker during the early hours of June 30, 2025. He remains on remand and is scheduled to return to court on October 21st for a preliminary inquiry in San Pedro. Lionel Urbina is the younger sibling of Jane Urbina, an expectant mother who was shot and killed following a prison visit on June 20th. For years, people looked to him for guidance, trust, and spiritual support. Today, that trust lies shattered. Former National Evangelical Association of Belize President, Pastor Victor Wagner Hernandez, is heading to prison after the High Court found that he used his position of authority to repeatedly sexually abuse a woman who turned to him for counsel. High Court Justice Antoinette Moore sentenced the 67-year-old pastor to 10 years behind bars after convicting him of 2 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. The offenses occurred in 2015, 2016, and 2021, while Hernandez served at the Toledo Faith Outreach Christian Center in Punta Gorda. The case began after a 35-year-old woman came forward with a complaint in 2024. During the trial, she gave an emotional testimony, telling the court that she had been threatened before reporting the abuse. Justice Moore found her account credible and ultimately convicted Hernandez on all 3 charges, bringing a high-profile case involving one of Belize's most prominent evangelical leaders to a close. Armed soldiers, police patrols, and checkpoints are becoming a familiar sight across Belize City. So is there a new security operation underway? Ministry of National Defense CEO Francis Usher says no. He insists there is no state of emergency and describes the BDF presence as routine support for police. But the soldiers on the streets are only one part of the effort, with the Belize Coast Guard also working alongside other security agencies to keep communities safe.
We are here to the Belize Defense Force and the Belize Coast Guard, because if you go on the George Price Highway, you'll see the Belize Coast Guard also supporting by in the evenings working that checkpoint. I believe that there's some some Coast Guard support in other ways. I don't want to get into the operational details, but the Coast Guard and the BDF are supporting in many different ways other than only being on the ground. But we're here to support the police department. We're here to support Belize in general. And if there is a crisis or a need for more manpower, then we're ready and willing to support.
How do you also select the soldiers that will be deployed on the streets, because it's different from the training they are used to?
So we have a rotation of infantry companies as well as the support companies that work at Price Barracks, and we'll have a rotation of soldiers, a complement of both for the deployments. Every deployment requires, even if you see 20 soldiers on the streets, it's usually 60 or 80 that are required to keep up the tempo of that 20 on the street, because you have some that are currently on the street, some that are waiting to go relieve those on the street, and some that are resting because they are coming back on duty soon, and some that are on stand down. So it's an operational tempo that continues throughout. So, but like I said, we're ready and willing to support, and we're here to lend a helping hand to our sister agencies.
But patrolling the streets at home has not always sat well with BDF soldiers. Some have argued that the train for military operations, not for dealing with civilians in local communities. After more than 2 decades of doing business at the Michael Finnegan market and helping it grow, the owner of Jun's Meat Shop says the Belize City Council locked him out without warning. He received immediate notice to vacate his 2 booths, and enforcement officers changed the locks the very next day. The emotional businessman showed us receipts indicating that he made payments through July. And while he still owes trade license fees for 2026, he believes the council should have given him a fair chance to settle the debt.
They come day before, after the accident what happened Monday, the next day they come and they have to close me down because the trade license, I know pay me trade license, but we may have an agreement that make I go to pay through the court. Leave it till and then I agree with the agreement. I got some receipts so we pay for the 2 shops, because the 2 Jones are for me, but my brother they run over the next side and I did this side. So then just come by force and lock me down. They just call me that, then they come and lock me down, and they never give me a lease, because I tell them we don't have agreement. Why want to lock me down for? And they say they make payments still. So then they still want to lock me down for no reason. So then just I tell them I got bills of meat. I got kids to feed, and the school is open right there, so then just take away my food for my mouth right, so and close me down. So I know say that fair for the people, I know say that fair enough for me what they do me. So I know I want the government to do something about this.
Now, how long have you been here?
I did like 20 years now, but from the turn to Finnegan Market, my old boy used to there. Before that, when I used to be before me change to Finnegan Market, but with the years back. So then for make them do me this, I build that place. That place used to be a least small place when they said me be a fish market, but nobody me want it. I'm a least small thing. I take my money from my pocket and I build it big like that.
The Belize City Council says this is not a personal fight. It is an enforcement issue. The council locked Jun's Meat Shop out of its booths at the Michael Finnegan market, claiming owner Aaron Castillo has operated for 8 months without securing a 2026 trade license. Officials say they gave Castillo ample time to comply, but eventually decided to act. Market manager Delroy Herrera and municipal court manager Jermaine Hyde explained why the council finally drew the line.
It's a stop order. He was issued with a stop order to operate due to his him not having a valid trade license. And so it's an operation that we did from the Trade License Board. We have a total of 39 stop orders that were issued. It just so happens that he is one of them who got a stop order for not having a valid trade license.
Now he claims that he does have a trade license. He showed us a bill that he's paying for the 2026-2027 trade license that he claims to have made a payment up till last month. What's your response to that?
A payment, yes, was received, but it's not for the amount that is currently outstanding, and so he still is not in possession of a trade license, and there's currently no application before the trade board for any trade license for Mr. Aaron Castillo.
Now, for someone who operates in that market area for over 20 years, should consideration have been made to keep him there while this is sorted out?
Well, we have to look at the fairness of it. We have many businesses throughout the city who struggle to make their trade license payment, and so it wouldn't be fair to the other license owners who have been compliant and have met their payments and received their trade license. So yes, while I understand that he has been there for years, we expect that there be some compliance on his part, especially that he's been there for years. He knows what is required to operate.
The Council's Trade License Board meets quarterly to consider new trade license applications and review licenses with compliance issues. Jun's Meat Shop is one of 39 businesses operating without a trade license. Still ahead, Belize is already pricey. Could a new $10 travel fee drive visitors elsewhere?
Every dream begins with an opportunity, and every opportunity has the power to change a life. This year, Belize Bank proudly welcomes 16 outstanding new scholars during its 14th annual Scholarship Award ceremony, recognizing young Belizeans whose academic excellence, leadership, and determination inspire us all.
When I look around the room today, I see future entrepreneurs who will build businesses. I see future doctors who will heal families. I see engineers who will design infrastructure, teachers which will inspire the next generation.
For Belize Bank, a scholarship is more than financial assistance. It's a commitment to each student's future through guidance, encouragement, and mentorship from members of our management team. Today, we celebrate 16 new scholars, more than 250 lives transformed, one shared future. Because when we empower our youth, we empower our nation.
At Cellular World, we believe technology shouldn't just be functional. It should make your home uniquely yours. Design your smart home with the full range of Samsung appliances and TVs. Equip your kitchen with smart and stylish fridges, advanced microwaves, and whisper-quiet dishwashers, bringing smart living to the heart of your home. Make daily tasks simple with efficient smart washers, powerful dryers, or an all-in-one laundry hub that adapts to your lifestyle. Experience true-to-life colors and spot-on sound with the Samsung Q LED Smart TV. Connect all your spaces instantly with the Smart Thing app for seamless control wherever you go. Get all your Samsung products today with the peace of mind that only the 1-year warranty from the authorized distributor can give you. So stop by your favorite location and start designing your smart home today. Only at Cellular World.
Her phone, her laptop, her whole life in this apartment. If anything happens, it's more than just a loss. It's everything. RF&G Renters Insurance helps protect what matters most, even when you don't own the place.
It's time for the 37th Annual CBU Media Awards. And once again, Greater Belize Media is regionally recognized with exceptional awards and special mentions. Best Social Media Content Creator Award, Benita Keme Palacio. Best Videographer Award, Rick Romero. Child Rights Champion, Children Who Inspire. Belize's Children's Parliament debates adolescent health access. Reporter, Brittany Gordon. and videographer George Tillett. Child rights champion, investigative reporting story. Special ed students locked out of school for 2 days straight. Reporters Paul Lopez and Brittany Gordon. Videographer George Tillett. Best comedy item, Grinch Steals Christmas at GBM. Rick Romero, Sheena Smith, and Nisa Sanchez. Special mentions include Best Advertisement, Television, OIE 17th Anniversary, Sheena Smith. Best Production on Land Degradation Neutrality, Boston Village Fights Back Against Illegal Logging. Reporter Paul Lopez. Videographer Dennis Tucker and Cleon Barrow. Best News Story, TV. Captain and passenger save flight from hijacker. Reporter Marian Ali. Videographer Darrell Miguel. Graphics Sheena Smith. Greater Belize Media, growing together.
Connection isn't something you switch on. It's something you build together.
Connected through culture.
Culture isn't preserved in silence. It's kept alive through participation.
Connected through education.
Education doesn't always look like a classroom. Sometimes it looks like someone taking the time to teach and someone else choosing to learn.
Connected through sports.
Before the win, before the applause, there's belonging. Here, young people learn more than how to play. They learn how to stand together.
Connected through community.
Community isn't a campaign, it's showing up. Not once, but every time it matters.
Connected through you.
Behind every connection is a person who cares. People who listen. People who stay. We don't just connect services, we connect you to your world.
Connected through every chapter.
Smart, bringing people together.
Belize-United States relations are entering a new chapter following the swearing in of Andre Bauer as U.S. Ambassador to Belize. Bauer announced the development in a social media post saying South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson administered the oath of office. The ceremony took place with Bauer's wife at his side. The newly sworn-in ambassador thanked President Donald Trump for placing confidence in him and giving him the opportunity to represent the United States in Belize. Bauer also credited his family, friends, and supporters for helping him reach the diplomatic post. But beyond the ceremony and personal acknowledgments, Bauer is already outlining his central mission. He says he intends to strengthen the long-standing friendship between Belize and the United States while serving with humility, dedication, and purpose. The swearing-in formally clears the way for Bauer to begin his diplomatic assignment and places renewed attention on how the United States will engage Belize under his leadership. Belize is already known as an expensive destination, and tourism stakeholders fear a new domestic travel fee could make it even harder to compete. The Belize Tourism Industry Association is pushing back against a $10 aviation security fee introduced in early August. BTIA President Efren Perez says every additional charge makes Belize more costly, while destinations in neighboring Mexico offer similar experiences for less.
I have to make it very clear that the BTIA is completely against any increases at this time, be it through taxes or be it through these fees. And the reason for that is because Belize is relatively considered as a high price destination, right? If you're looking at airfares coming from the US market, I mean, it's not a cheap airfare that you would get in most instances. And so adding a $10 might seem as if though it is really just $10. But if you're looking at a family coming in, 5-6 people, and on every leg they're paying that $10, it does accumulate, right? And when we look at, for example, the domestic travel, it's no longer a luxury item. Mm-hmm. The reality of it is that it's not only tourists traveling, it's also the locals traveling, and the locals are price sensitive.
A proposal that could make overnight stays in Belize more expensive is once again stirring concern within the tourism industry. Talks have resurfaced about raising the hotel tax from 9 to 12.5%. But BTIA President Efren Perez is standing firmly against it. He says government can generate additional revenue by cutting waste and closing expenditure leaks instead of increasing taxes.
The implication that it has, not only for a hotelier, because raising the tax for the hotelier will certainly make us less competitive in markets that people are reducing prices right now, right? And so if we have an increase, our prices go up, that would mean less travelers come in.
Yes.
That would mean that the housekeeper that is cleaning the room might not be able to have her job and be able to look after her family. The farmers that are selling vegetables to the hoteliers might not be able to do that. So the trickling effect on that is much greater in that sense. What we should be looking at is trying to look at those areas that have, that can be strengthened in order for government to be able to access more funding. Because we certainly agree that government needs the funds in order for them to operate. But then again, the easiest way is coming to tourism and saying, okay, let us tax tourism and let them pay the bill. But the reality is that there's a lot of and we've seen it over and over. There's a lot of loopholes within the government system, especially when it comes to the expenditures over the course of the, this year in the news it has hit so many different areas.
Perez says that if government moves ahead with the hotel tax increase, BTIA will demand that 2% go toward a climate adaptation fund. Preparations for Belize's 45th independence celebrations are moving into the final stretch. The National Celebrations Commission held its final meeting on Wednesday with Chairman Francis Fonseca. Once again, municipalities across the country are getting financial support to help with their local celebrations. Fonseca presented contributions from the National Celebrations Commission to the mayors of Belize's 9 municipalities. Each municipality receives $15,000, totaling $135,000 in support. The money will assist local councils with planning and executing national celebrations activities in their communities. The Commission says the funding recognizes the important role municipalities play in bringing the spirit of Belize to Belizeans across the country as the nation prepares to celebrate 45 years of independence. Coming up, tour guides and village leaders could soon ticket litterbugs. Is Belize ready for community enforcement?
When I install an AC system, I recommend Ream from Belize. Unlike inferior units that drive up electricity costs, we restrict yard flow and wear out quickly. Ream has the right solution for every space. With a wide range of options, I can choose the right Ream system to keep every customer cool, comfortable, and satisfied. Because at Belize, quality is savings.
Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and savings.
Only 3 contestants are left. This Tuesday, they will take the stage one final time for the KTV Season 8 Grand Finale. Who will be named this year's KTV champion? This is your last chance to vote your favorite to the finish line. To keep your favorite KTV star in the competition, you have to vote. Text the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's assigned voting number, and send it to 585. Remember, each contestant has a new assigned voting number for this week. Here are this week's contestants.
When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours. I felt born again the moment that mercy was. If I haven't seen you for a year or more, I'll think about you and I'll say I miss you.
You can also support your favorite by sending credit directly to their assigned smartphone number. Cast your vote by Sunday at midnight and tune in on Tuesday at 8 p.m. for the KTV Season 8 Grand Finale.
We're ready for the road. We're ready for the road. So we're ready, yeah, we're ready, yeah, we're ready, 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 yeah, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready.
The way Belize uses electricity is changing. At home, families are using more devices, smarter appliances, and connected technology. Across the country, businesses are growing, industries are expanding, and communities are finding new ways to live, work, and move forward. Behind that progress, the energy system must continue to grow with Belize. At BL, modernizing the grid is part of preparing for what comes next. A grid with greater visibility, more accurate information, and better tools to manage energy as needs change. Through investment in digital systems, upgraded infrastructure, and improved monitoring, BEL is strengthening how electricity is managed and delivered across the country. Not just for today's needs, but for the future Belize is building. As new technology emerges, from solar generation to community energy systems, the grid must be ready to support them safely, reliably, and sustainably. This is the work of modernization, step by step, system by system, community by community, helping prepare Belize for a more connected, resilient, and sustainable energy future.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
Get a smart start this new school year with deals you don't want to miss. Get a prepaid device starting at just $235. Choose from the TCL 503, Honor Play 10, Samsung A07, Samsung A17, and more. Every prepaid device purchase includes a free starter package with minutes, data, and SMS to get you started. Students and teachers, sign up for a Trio postpaid plan and enjoy 50% off for 3 months. Bundle your Trio plan with a postpaid data plan and get a free MiFi. Start the school year powered up with a postpaid power pack, including a device and your postpaid plan deposit, starting at $275. Plus, new students and teachers that sign up for their postpaid bundle get their first month free. Power up for back to school with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Belizean stories, voices, and journalists earned major recognition on the regional stage last night. Greater Belize Media walked away from the 37th Caribbean Broadcasting Union Media Awards with 5 awards and 4 special mentions. The ceremony brought together media professionals from 13 Caribbean countries and territories in Georgetown, Guyana. Of the 9 recognitions awarded to Belize, GBM claimed 8.
For the journalists, producers, videographers, and digital team at Greater Belize Media, the recognition reflects the work that happens every day inside our newsroom. GBM took home awards across news, digital, and production categories, with several team members receiving regional recognition for their work. Among the highlights was reporter Brittany Gordon and videographer George Tillett, who won the Child Rights Champion Investigative Reporting Story category for their report special ed students locked out of school 2 days straight.
I feel very proud and very honored. I think that the award that I won was for a very important cause, dealing with children's rights. And so it's a very big accomplishment, not just to me, but the entire team, that we were able to be recognized for our reporting on that. It's certainly validating. You know, like you said, it's a lot of hard work, late nights sometimes, taking work home, early mornings. So just to see that is recognized regionally, internationally, it's very rewarding. But the real reward is hearing the feedback from the viewers and seeing how they engage with our content that we produce. So that's really what it's all about.
Reporter Paul Lopez was among those recognized for outstanding work. But he says the honor goes far beyond the name engraved on the award. For Lopez, every winning story reflects the hard work, creativity, and commitment of the entire newsroom.
The team here at Greater Belize Media is really the backbone. Everybody that works in putting together the news product, whether it is the reporters writing the story, it's the cameramen behind the cameras pressing record and ensuring that the edited package is done to the highest standard, whether it is the graphics team that are ensuring that the stories we put out are visually appealing to our audience, or whether it is the behind-the-scenes team at in the control room that are ensuring that what viewers see on a day-to-day basis, that it runs smoothly. It takes teamwork and it's a collaborative effort. So while we may be recognized individually on the awards, those names are just a handful of the people that really makes the dream work at GBM.
Belizeans are no longer waiting for the evening newscast to find out what is happening. They are getting news wherever they are and across multiple platforms. That change in media landscape earned Benita Kemi Palacio the award for Best Social Media Content Creator. The recognition also celebrates GBN's digital team, which works behind the scenes to take reliable news beyond television and deliver it directly to online audiences.
I am very honored, grateful, and thrilled to really get recognition for this role, because it is a role that we often don't hear that much when we think of a newsroom. in terms of being a content creator in a newsroom. What has made a change in need of having a digital team in News 5 is the audience, the change of how people are consuming news in the audience. So they're looking at platforms, they're accessing platforms such as social media and other digital platforms where they can learn more and get educated, get information and all of that.
That success also extended to our graphics department, where Sheena Smith earned 3 honors. Her work on the GBM comedy production Grinch Steals Christmas at GBM received recognition, along with 2 other special mentions.
I think it speaks to the work that we do here at GBM, and I think we all have a passion for what we do at some level, and I think that just having some type of recognition, even if it's not an award, but it's still a special mention, I think that in the beginning of yesterday's award ceremony, I think the person who opened it spoke about special mentions being just as good as the award, maybe just a few points below. So that made me feel, really good, knowing that I'm able to compete regionally among the best.
Rick Romero won Best Videographer and shared another award with Sheena Smith and Nisa Sanchez for Grinch Steals Christmas at GBM. The honors show that GBM storytelling can compete with the Caribbean's best. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Could a tour guide, alcalde, or village council member soon ticket you for littering? Under updated regulations, the Department of the Environment is expanding the list of people authorized to enforce Belize's litter laws. Violators could face fines of up to $2,000, and officers would have 21 days after an offense to issue a ticket. But the department says enforcement is only one part of the solution. It is also launching a national campaign called Our Belize, Our Responsibility, Bin It. Here is Chief Environmental Officer Anthony Mai.
Another section of the law that we are amending is the section that currently says that if an authorized officer sees someone throwing litter on the ground, and the officer has 48 hours to issue the littering ticket. And what we have found in the past is that people would just hide for 48 hours, and legally after that, we wouldn't be able to issue the ticket. We're pushing this back to 21 days, so we have enough time to catch you and issue this littering ticket. Also, we're increasing the penalty for individuals. So if an individual is seen throwing garbage or litter on the ground, the person currently under the law will be charged $100. We're taking that up 100%, so he'll be charged $200. And then for companies, the current penalty is $500. We're taking that up to $2,000. Also, we are looking at the possibility of including within the sanctions. So the law says that if you don't pay the ticket after 15 working days, an additional fee is charged. So the current law says $10 a day. This one says $20 to $25 a day. And then if you don't pay it within 30 calendar days, the ticket itself acts as a summons, and then you'll have to go to court. The Department of Environment will be taking people to court, so that then if they feel like they have a justification as to why they committed the act, they'll be able to present that justification to the magistrate.
Earlier this week, the Department of Environment began expanding its list of people authorized to issue littering tickets. Minister of Sustainable Development Orlando Hebet appointed 9 people as authorized officers in Placencia. They include village council members and active members of the community.
What we recently did is we reached out to the Placencia Village Council, informing them of our desire to authorize persons to issue a littering ticket in Placencia. In fact, this was a two-way flow of information. The information came, or the request came as a result of a meeting we had with them. And so the Placencia Village Council provided us with 9 names. Some of the names are members of the Village Council, and some of the names are people who are active within the community. And so on Wednesday, the Minister of Sustainable Development, Honorable Orlando Hebet, issued these 9 individuals with their confirmed letter authorizing them as persons who could issue a littering ticket. Now, this had to go through the full legal process in terms of authorizing these people. We had to work through the Attorney General's office. The names of these 9 persons were gazetted for 2 weeks, and then the minister would then have the authority to be able to issue these the letter authorizing them after it had been gazetted.
The public awareness campaign will also include the installment of trash bins in public transportation across the country, as well as national anti-littering billboards. For years, Belize's real estate professionals operated under two separate organizations. Now they are joining forces. The Association of Real Estate Brokers of Belize and the Belize National Association of Real Estate have merged to form the Belize Real Estate Associate, or BREA. Industry leaders say the new national body will combine their expertise and resources, strengthen professional standards, and give real estate professionals one voice on issues affecting the sector.
Both associations have been working together for many years towards some of the same objectives. And we got to the point where it made more sense to combine our strengths. A unified association reduces duplication, gives the industry a clearer voice, and makes it easier to establish consistent standards across the industry. It's been quite the experience working with these folks because we all bring a certain level of understanding and experience. And it's been really progressive ever since we've joined forces.
What expertise do you think both companies bring to the table?
Well, both associations have a number of members all across the country. And those are made up of agents, agent brokers, larger firms. And each of these persons, through their own professional experiences, have gathered knowledge and been able to use that.
So I think both associations were very adamant of ensuring that they bring the best practitioners to the market, that they're trained, that the ethics are in line. So we've really been running in parallel. But the one thing that we weren't doing is speaking with the same voice. And that created a separation in the eyes of the government. Not a competition, it was just a separation. So we felt the best thing to do was for us to join forces and to speak from one voice. Let's use economies of scale, to use a business term, so that we're not duplicating efforts, and have one single point of contact where we all agree on the rules, we all agree on the rules of engagement, and we can then build the things that the industry needs for it to be formalized.
The new association will hold its first AGM in November to elect leaders and discuss regulations with government officials. Up next, Destiny Wagner walked away from Miss Universe Belize, but she insists it was not surrender.
Connection isn't something you switch on. It's something you build together.
Connected through culture.
Culture isn't preserved in silence. It's kept alive through participation.
Connected through education.
Education doesn't always look like a classroom. Sometimes it looks like someone taking the time to teach and someone else choosing to learn.
Connected through sports.
Before the wins, before the applause, there's belonging. Here, young people learn more than how to play. They learn how to stand together.
Connected through community.
Community isn't a campaign, it's showing up. Not once, but every time it matters.
Connected through you.
Behind every connection is a person who cares. People who listen. People who stay. We don't just connect services, we connect you to your world.
Connected through every chapter.
Smart, bringing people together.
Her phone, her laptop, her whole life in this apartment. If anything happens, it's more than just a loss. It's everything. RF&G Renters Insurance helps protect what matters most, even when you don't own the place.
Only 3 contestants are left. This Tuesday, they will take the stage one final time for the KTV Season 8 Grand Finale. Who will be named this year's KTV champion? This is your last chance to vote your favorite to the finish line. To keep your favorite KTV star in the competition, you have to vote. Text the number of votes followed by a space. then your contestant's assigned voting number and send it to 585. Remember, each contestant has a new assigned voting number for this week. Here are this week's contestants.
When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours. I felt born again the moment that mercy was.
If I haven't seen you for a year or more, I'll think about you and I'll say I miss you.
You can also support your favorite by sending credit directly to their assigned smartphone number. Cast your vote by Sunday at midnight and tune in on Tuesday at 8 p.m. for the KTV Season 8 Grand Finale.
Insurance fact. Did you know Home Protector Insurance provides liability insurance that is for licensing? Public liability insurance for the hotels and guest houses protects the guests staying at the resort. Tour operators insurance for on-site tourists and marine passenger liability for passengers. You take care of your guests, we'll take care of you. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
Every dollar you save today is a seed for tomorrow. Let your dreams take root and grow. Belize Bank, your future, our commitment.
Bundle, 2 Skydeck tickets, $500 DigiCash, a night stay at Grand Resort plus official Marshall Montano merch. Get your tickets for only $5 on the DigiWallet Marketplace games and experience Marshall Montano the Encore way.
Destiny Wagner says walking away does not always mean giving up. Sometimes, she says, it means refusing to compromise what you stand for. That is how Wagner is framing her resignation as National Director of Miss Universe Belize. After what she describes as careful consideration, Wagner says concerns over leadership, communication, and accountability convinced her that the organization no longer aligned with her values. Wagner accepted the role hoping to build greater sisterhood, support, and community within the Belizean pageantry. She believes she made meaningful progress, but says events following the recent pageant forced her to reconsider her place in the organization. At the center of Wagner's concerns is how the organization handled responsibility when problems arose. She argues that strong leaders stand with their teams during difficult moments instead of placing blame on one group while ignoring the wider circumstances that contributed to the outcome. Wagner also defended the Belizean team, saying its members worked tirelessly despite major challenges and an extremely short preparation period. According to Wagner, the team solved problems, met deadlines, and remained committed to delivering for Belize and the delegates. But Wagner suggests the public does not yet know the full story. She says several conversations and incidents took place behind the scenes, and she may speak about them when the time is right. Wagner says she leaves with a clear conscience and continued support for the delegates. She is urging Belizeans to rally behind Caye Rose as she heads to Puerto Rico. Her time with Miss Universe Belize is over, but her work in pageantry is not. Belize is preparing to host the 2026 Caribbean Junior Road Cycling Championships this weekend. But motorists should also prepare for some temporary traffic disruptions. The championships begin Saturday with the individual time trial on the Boom Hattieville Road, where the road will be closed from the Boom entrance to the Hattieville roundabout from 7 a.m. to noon, and the Philip Gosen Highway will be closed on Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. from the Flag Monument to West Track roundabout. Cycling Federation of Belize President Glenn Flowers says the event will bring together young cyclists from across the Caribbean and showcase Belize as a cycling destination.
We're having a grand event this weekend. We're having the Junior Caribbean Championship this weekend. On Saturday, we're having the ITT, which will be held on the Boom Road. On Sunday, we're having the road race, which will be held on the Northern Road between the Flag Monument and the last roundabout heading towards the airport. It's going to be a great event. We have 14 countries here in Belize that's going to be participating in this Caribbean Junior Championship. So some of the guys are already arrived. We're here at the famous bike shop, Ordonez Bike Shop, getting some of their bikes ready for the race. So we're hoping to have a great weekend this weekend. We're inviting all the Belizeans to come out and support our Belizeans. We're hoping to keep that gold medal here in Belize. Last year we had the elite championship here, and most of the Caribbean Union had participated in that. We had 17 countries that came in for that one. And we held a congress out in Brazil, and it was offered back to Belize again. Everybody had, the whole Cycling Caribbean Union loved Belize and they wanted to come back. So they gave us the Junior Caribbean Championship. So they're here again and they love Belize. They want to continue doing it here in Belize.
Motorists are advised to plan their routes, exercise caution, and follow the instructions of police and traffic officers. The Cycling Federation is also inviting the public to come out and cheer on Team Belize as they compete to keep the medals at home. Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, bus operators threaten nationwide shutdown. Ellis Ikal commented, "Come on now, like how much more do they want? There may be other operators who willing and want to be bus operators with commuters at heart. Us commuters work hard for our earnings. Why should it be easy for them to earn theirs? The thing is, the increased bus fares has gone up significantly. How much more they want?" Turning to Longtime vendor challenges CitCo Lockout at Finnegan Market, Elsie McFlarine shared, "This is totally wrong. This young man done gone through this trauma, seeing someone get shot, and now they come to do this, terrorize him. Even more shame on the city council. They need to show some empathy to this young man." And finally, on GBM, Newsroom ranks among Caribbean's best. Malin Vasquez shared, "Huge congratulations. So very proud of you and your team. Keep doing what you love and what you do so very well. You make all Belizeans so happy and proud." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.